Hey, welcome to this shortwave radio channel and another favorite on my top 10 list of my favorite radios that I own. And some of you have seen my collection, know that I own quite a lot of radios. So on my top 10, and even though, yes, there's been a few bad things happening with this radio, it still makes my top 10 because I still love the radio. But I wait for the bad side of things and you'll understand my little quirkiness that this thing has, and it might turn you off from purchasing one. It's roughly $120. Be careful on eBay, there's some idiots from Japan that are trying to sell this $370. Yeah, right, that's crazy, okay? They should, I don't know. I hope nobody buys it at that price because it's not worth that. 120 bucks is pretty much what you'll pay for it. So this is a Tecsun PL 680. It's one of the Tecsun receivers that I own, that I love. It is a nice receiver. I purchased this one because it was kind of somewhat of an upgrade to my original PL 600, and it had sync detection that I wanted to actually have. So I actually purchased it for this. Plus it adds airband. So this thing has long wave, medium wave, short wave, FM with stereo through the earpiece, and airband. So you can actually listen to airplanes passing overhead. If you live near an airport, maybe that could be a cool thing for you, having a shortwave radio that also will listen to the airband. So it has general coverage, so this has no gaps. It is really a general coverage receiver up to 29,999 kilohertz, which is very nice. Single sideband, of course. This is a single sideband capable receiver with very nice separate upper and lower sideband capabilities. And this is nice because not a lot of radios have separate upper lower sideband capabilities. This makes tuning of sideband signals so much easier. Plus, the BFO button here has another really extra cool feature. It's got a center notch. You can feel it when you actually hit the center of that button. And that's cool because the center notch shows you where you're pretty much at 0 beat. So it makes it even easier to tune in signals because you know you're at 0 beat, and you'll know if you're centered on the frequency, because technically on a portable receiver, one of the hardest things to know is, are you exactly on that frequency when you're listening to a sideband signal? And with the center notch, well, you know that if I hear something on 14190 and that I'm pretty much centered in or very close to the notch, I know that the station in upper sideband, this is 20 meters, is on 14190. I can actually tell you that with this receiver, which is nice because a lot of portable receivers are, you're going to be around 14190, but you could be on 14191 or 189 and still tune it. So there's a little range where you're not sure what frequency, and this is nice because here you really know what frequency you're tuning in. It has what is the best synchronous detector that I've had in a receiver. I got 3 radios that have it. This is the best one. The synchronous detection here is great. What is synchronous detection? It's the ability to remove the carrier from a station, an AM mode station, and replace it with an internal carrier that is synced. That's why it says synchronous. It's synchronized with the signal you're listening to. And because it's replaced by a local oscillator, it means that the fading is less of a problem. So if you have a hard time listening to a station because of fading, or maybe because of adjacent interference from stations real close, well, the sync detector will actually help you maybe get that DX that you want, or that station that you want. It's fairly sensitive, and it's actually really, really good at staying locked on. A lot of radios have that problem. Being locked on and staying locked on a signal is sometimes difficult. This one has an amazing sync detection. It has, of course, memories, it has timers, sleep and alarm. Pretty much all the radios except the very basic analogs have that now. The LCD display is very nice, big enough with a nice big frequency chunk, with a level indicator for the signal, with time, separate, clock and time information, and of course you can have the signal to noise ratio if you want in the display. So depending on what you want to have displayed up here, you just choose the type of display that you want up there, which is kind of nice. It's not signal to noise ratio, I'm sorry. There's a clock and there's the timer. The signal indicator is on the level indicator here, about 5 bars. So this is nice. The 4AA batteries last quite a long time in this radio. It's a nice radio. It's fairly nice, but it's a bigger portable than a lot of the receivers. Sorry for the noise here. Portable receivers, and it's a little heavier, so for travel it might be a little bigger than what you might expect or want if you compare it to other receivers. It comes with a earphone jack, it comes with a power adapter, it comes with 4 rechargeable batteries that are included already in it, which is very nice, no need to buy batteries, and it comes with a very beautiful brown leather style carrying pouch that is very, very nice. Feels very, very nice quality also. What's bad about this radio? Well, here's the thing. On AM mode, I noticed that the radio's off by roughly 1.5 kilohertz. So if I want to listen, say, to WWV on AM mode, I would tune in 15001 because it'll be more centered there. So this is something that's plaguing this radio a little bit. Now Tecsun will tell you, yeah, it's within the range of our margin of error, but it's unacceptable, honestly, that a receiver that's cost $100 today has such a problem, because, I mean, you buy a $30 radio today that is right on the dot on the frequency, so there's kind of no excuse here on that. The encoder, which is the, so when you tune the tuning button here on the left, what it does internally, it actually activates an encoder that's on the motherboard or on the board of the radio. That encoder is what actually, the steps that it does, tells the radio what are you going up or down in the frequencies, and it's actually giving the radio, or the encoder tells the chip how fast you're actually tuning, and how to move along in the kilohertz and so on when you're tuning. That encoder actually jammed, and I couldn't actually tune at all. Now, thanks to Fastload that opened it and opened the encoder, he actually put a couple of a little drop of sewing machine oil. It's still a little stiff, but it came back to working order, so it's okay like that. So that could be a quality control problem in one of the in the encoder itself. I've owned many Tecsun receivers. This is the only one that ever did this, but at least with that fixed, it's still okay, and it works well. It has a weird signal fade. Even though this radio is not a DSP radio, it doesn't have a DSP chip or digital signal processing chip. When the signals tend to fade to a very low level, rather than fading seamlessly to zero, they kind of drop out at a point, which is kind of weird. I've never experienced that in another radio, as if the automatic gain control somehow just drops, which is kind of weird. But it doesn't really make reception bad. I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing when you're listening to signals. And last but not least, one of the flaws, if you're outside where it's a little noisy, on the AM side of things, the volume is high enough. But when you put the radio in single sideband, that's where it actually gets very low audio. Even on strong single sideband signals, your volume might be at max, and still the signal that you're listening to isn't that strong. So that's a little something when there's noisy around. And if you listen in your home, that won't be a problem. But if you do listen outside where it's a little noisy, you might have a little bit of problems. And one last thing that I didn't mention in the good part of things, there's 2 bandwidths. So of course you can select wide or narrow depending on the signals you're listening to. You can also charge the internal batteries when you plug in the AC adapter. That is included. This is also something that's kind of nice to know, because it's not always the case in a lot of receivers. And overall, I still love this radio. It's one of my favorites, and it has a good look, and it's a nice radio to tune around. The Tecsun PL 680, making the top 10 list of my favorite portable receivers that I own. Enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thanks for watching.